Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you my entire process of how I'm searching for the next potential 10x, 20x, 100x, whatever coins for the next bull run. It's a completely new process that I prepared for myself for the past few weeks, and I wanted to share it with you because I think it's quite valuable, to be honest, and can really help you be early to catch some potential good setups in the future. And I'm really excited about this video. One thing that I want to mention, of course, there are many other ways to find good projects out there. This is just my personal preference. And also just know that I'm not really focused on ICO type of projects where you go before any kind of listing on any kind of exchange and that you have a lot of risk of the project failing. I prefer buying projects once they start getting listed in some of the main exchanges. So just keep this in mind if you're someone that is watching this and is really keen into diving into really small shitcoins that have very low market cap and are listed only on decentralized exchanges. So let's start with the first step, and this website is actually the place to start. It's called cryptocurrencyalerting.com. You can make an account completely for free and you can use it for some very cool stuff. So first of all, you can receive a price alerts for, let's say, Bitcoin or any other coin right here. You can also receive alerts about coin listings. So if something is listed on Coinbase or on Binance or on FTX, you will receive an alert on the day that that coin gets listed. You also have some other cool features like wallet watch and ETH gas fees and so on, but we're gonna focus first of all on those two first main functions, and we're gonna start with this coin listing alert. I think this really is a cool one because over the years of trading, usually where I get my investing ideas is from friends or from the internet, from going on each separate exchange, see what tokens are listed, do the research, and this very tedious and time consuming process. And this kind of consolidates it a little bit. You still have to do the work, you still have to research the projects, be there, show up every single day, but these type of alerts really make the whole process a lot easier. And what's the purpose of this? So if I know that a token gets listed on Binance, which is probably the biggest exchange out there, I know that potentially other exchanges have already listed it or are going to list it in the future, which is very important for a project. This means there will be liquidity flowing into this token, and whenever you're trading with more than $1,000, let's say, you need a lot of liquidity to make sure that you're not stuck in trades that you don't want to be. Because imagine you're trading $10,000 or $100,000, and let's say the volume is like $200,000 per day. If you decide to exit or enter a position with $100,000, you're 50% of the liquidity. So that's why I want to be looking into projects that have higher liquidity and are on many different exchanges. And I want to get into them early by using this coin listing alert. I personally, the way I have set my alerts are to receive them on Telegram. So I receive it right on the day on my phone. And also I have chosen two exchanges to follow. The first one is Coinbase, and the second one is Binance. Binance is the one that it's very widespread, very popular, and very easy to list many different small altcoins. And on the other side of the spectrum is Coinbase, where they're a public company, they're quite strict with the tokens they're listing, but still it's a very good sign if Coinbase lists a token, and also it brings a lot of liquidity from the United States. So I want to be alerted whenever a project is listed on each of those exchanges. And let me just quickly show you how the alerts look on my phone. And we're going to look into some specific examples here with the listing of Ocean Protocol on Coinbase. I know this protocol is old already, but still I think it's a good example to use and go through the process. As you can see, it's just a simple message that you receive from a bot. Okay, once I have set my alerts and I receive some alerts, I'm gonna go and do some basic research on the project. And as I mentioned, let's use Ocean as an example. First one, I will go to CoinMarketCap and just check the exchange diversification. So I just received a notification that it's listed already on Coinbase, but as you can see, this project is not new at all. I know this before making this video, but also you can see it from the exchanges. It's already listed on Binance, on Gates, on KuCoin, on Kraken, and so on. So in general, this is actually a very good sign for diversification. This is something that I'm looking at whenever I do my initial research. And then as you can see, there's a lot of volume getting traded on the different exchanges. However, if the project is very new and it just got listed on Binance, for example, this might not be the case. You might be seeing just a couple of exchanges and the main one to be Binance. So the next step that you should do is do at least some basic fundamental research. I'll probably do an entire video on this, specifically how to do fundamental research and find good projects. But the easiest thing that you can do is to just scroll here on CoinMarketCap and just click on their website and go over and see what this project is about. Just to get a feel, just to see if it's something unique, something really special that has the potential to grow in the future in the industry. And once you have done this with, let's say, 100, 200 projects, you see that it's much easier to make sense out of everything that is saying on their website and to differentiate from what is bullshit and what actually has some value, and you can put it on your watch list in the future. This is very, very important to do, especially with smaller coins that just got listed on Binance and are not on that many exchanges, because this will differentiate what you will be very early in or you will be quite late to the party. Because if something gets listed on Binance, the chances that the liquidity, especially in the first months, will be very low compared to when we go into a full bull run. And you really have the possibility to do your research to see that probably this has some good fundamentals, and then jump into the charts and look for a potential setup, which is very straightforward, to be honest. And I'm going to show you the exact setup that I'm looking for in every new project that I'm researching currently. The next step of the process is to go on TradingView or whatever trading app that you're using and just choose a chart and look at this project and see how it looks on the charts. In this case, we're going to start with Ocean USD on Coinbase, because I received the notification that this project is listed on Coinbase, and I just want to look at the chart and confirm that yes, this is listed there. So as you can see, it was listed just a few days ago, and pretty much it's really hard to make sense of this chart. It's impossible to do any kind of charting, and it's a completely wild guess if you start buying here, and I think it carries a lot more risk. However, I know that this is an older project, and even if you don't know this, if you just type Ocean into TradingView, it will give you all the pairs on all the different exchanges. So I will always try to find for the most complete chart. And let's start, for example, with Binance here. And as you can see, there's a lot more price history on Ocean, some drawings even here from the past that I was looking at. However, I want to look at some other charts that potentially have more history. In the case of Ocean, I just checked, there are not other charts that have more history, so we're gonna work with the chart from Binance. And the very first thing in this process of finding the next 10x that I'm looking at is that, okay, this is an older project and it has had some kind of a bull run. So from the lows here to the top, we had 600% gains, and then it just fizzled down. And as you can see now, we're really slowing down, and there's not that much volume and there's not that much volatility also. And actually we're seeing a potential for a breakdown pattern and potentially even go lower on this descending triangle. So right from the start, even if I haven't done deep fundamental work on this, I know that this is a project that I don't want to be involved right now, just because of the technical setup and the potential that this will break down, and we don't know how low it could go. And this is one of the rule of thumbs that I have. Whenever I'm looking in bear markets for new setups, I'm trying to avoid these kind of projects that already have chart history and that they already have a bunch of back holders right here that are looking to sell on the very first bounce from this area. Even if we get here like 200% gains from here, I'm pretty sure there will be many people eager to sell their bags that they have held for years probably, and cause a lot of selling pressure on this price action. How do I know this? Well, from experience, and also because not once or twice I have been the bag holder in such kind of situation, and I was just looking for a moment to exit on every single pump that was worth it. What you want to be looking at, and I'm gonna give you an example from the previous cycle, is something like this. If we open a Solana chart, you'll see here that we have a very interesting price structure from the start. So let me just go down to the daily chart. When this project was listed on Binance, and if we just zoom in, so imagine this is May 2020, quite a while back now, and as you can see here, Solana had a very typical actually price action for a new listing, very random price action, and then at some point the price started establishing a range, and this is really where you can make a lot of money. Once you see this kind of pattern forming, which is called an accumulation range, and you have some fundamental reasons behind this project that you believe in, and of course you have exchange diversification or the potential for this project to get listed to other exchanges, this creates kind of the perfect storm for a 10x project. And to be honest, even if you haven't done perfect fundamental work, or you don't believe 100% in the fundamentals, because fundamentals with crypto are quite tricky, and I personally give a lot more weight to the technical side, you can just watch this and see how price action will develop and potentially take a trade setup on a breakout somewhere around this area. And the way not to miss this is actually very cool and very simple, and I want to show you now what it is. First, once you've done the research, obviously you should add this to your watch list, and every day or every week or so when you're going through charts, you just need to be focused and track for these kind of patterns. And once you see something like this forming, you can set alerts for price or for movement in price that will give you hints early enough that something is happening with this project and potentially that you need to invest in it. You can do this in many different ways. I'm just gonna give you the couple of ways that I personally prefer doing it. There are alerts here on TradingView, and if you just click here on the price, here on the side there's a plus sign, and I want to get an alert for SOL at $0.8, and this means that TradingView will alert me when the price gets to this level. However, from my personal experience, TradingView is really terrible at delivering these kind of alerts. They really need to update this feature. That's why I prefer to use either the website that I just showed you and just set up price alert here, or you can use also an app that actually was bought by FTX. It's called Blockfolio, and if you go to your app store, you can just type Blockfolio. Let me just zoom it in here. You can see it, and this is the correct one that you need to download, because there's another one, it's FTX Pro, and it's all about the trading, and you can also do a lot of the trading here on FTX Buy and Sell Crypto, the same app that you have to download. But in order to use the portfolio features, you can just register and have an account, but you don't need to get verified and go through, the entire KYC process. Let me just show you a screenshot of how this looks on my phone. So you can have your own portfolio. You can create and add whatever token you want inside. And once you create a new portfolio and click the plus sign here, you add, let's say in this case, Bitcoin. And then you have a little bell here, or if you go inside the currency, here on the top you also have a bell, and you can receive an alert whenever the price action crosses this level. And if you go on advanced, you can also choose your exchange, your pair, and so on and so on. Another really cool feature on this specific one is that you can also add price change, and this is really cool. If price moves 5% in the next 15 minutes or 1 hour or whatever, you get a notification, and that's for me has been very useful together with the target price alerts. So go on and check this app too, but this really helps me not to miss any trade or any setup that I'm currently monitoring. If we go back to SOL, so for this example, I would set my alert somewhere around here, because imagine you're right here. You don't know what's going to happen after that, but you're seeing higher lows. So let me just delete this. you're seeing higher lows here. You're seeing that we have price action that is stabilizing. So it's establishing some kind of a range first here, and then we see some reactions here around 80 cents level, and then you potentially want to have an alert somewhere around here. So if you're watching this and you're like, okay, there's very low liquidity, and probably whenever it's trading on just one or two exchanges here, people tend to take profit very quickly because these are very high risk investments here in the beginning, but you want to be informed that this is happening. And this for me is like the first sign of life of this project, the higher lows and also the retest of this 80 cents area. And then once you keep tracking this and once you keep receiving the alerts, you can start taking breakout trades in this area. Of course, depending on how you read the chart, you can use also this level around $1 because around emotional price number. And again, there were some reactions here and you can receive an alert there. You're still quite early, if this doesn't go parabolic on the first run, there will be plenty of opportunities to enter, but once price action develops, this is probably the best time to invest in a project, to have a minimum amount of risk for obviously the type of returns that you could expect, and still be extremely early into this project. We all know what happened with Solana afterwards. And even if you didn't catch this accumulation, as you can see, price gave us another range here and a potential breakout and a retest. And even if you missed this, again, if you just found this a little bit later on, you can obviously look for a brand new accumulation somewhere around here. But being this early, like right here, I think is the key. And this is pretty much the entire process of how you can do this and make sure that you at least know about these projects early enough. You will make the decision if you want to invest in them later on, because there will be a lot of notifications that come to you and you go through them and you just end up at a dead end. And that's totally fine. Probably 99% of the project that you research will be this kind of project that you don't want to invest in. However, the 1% are really those high return coins that you're looking for. And I promise you, if you do this consistently, because it could take a while, we could be in a bear trend for a couple of years, let's say. It needs to be done every single time, and it needs to be really consistent and have a plan of what will happen whenever you decide to put a project on your watch list, and then potentially look for price alerts and places to enter. And it's really, really fun if you're really into it, because you also get to learn a lot about the space in the process and have like an overall picture of what's going on in crypto, where are the new projects coming in. And I think this really gives you a competitive edge, because this is the time to make the big bucks. Everyone is hyped about Dogecoin at $1 or whatever, but this is the moment where the best investors, the best traders make their big bets and potentially in the future make big wins. That is everything for this video. And if you have any questions, you know how to find me.